Hello from the fabric. I'm Fabio.
And I'm Ryan. Our mantra is that we like to go off the beaten path to kind of lesser known destinations. So we're gonna do that.
Yeah, today we're sharing 10 incredible places that you probably never heard of, but you definitely should. And guess what? We've been to all of them.
Just so you know, a lot of these places, which I don't know all of them. Fabio picked them, so I'm gonna be surprised. We'll talk about these off the beaten path places. A lot of them are centered around Asia, maybe a few in Europe too, just because those are the places that we traveled. So don't even argue with us. We still have a lot of the world to conquer, obviously, but these are a few of our favorite off the beaten path places we think you should go to.
Yeah, that surprised us. And you can find videos of these locations in our channel, or most of them. So let's jump in. The first one is Biei Furano in Hokkaido, Japan.
Ooh,
which is this big island on the top of Japan in the north, bordering with Russia.
We love this place. I feel like I personally had like a spiritual awakening when we were biking through the green lavender fields, and it was just beautiful.
What else is there? Well, it's home to the Blue Pond Lake. It's often called Japan's Tuscany for its picturesque landscape. It's perfect for summer flower fields and winter skiing, and of course it's less crowded than Tokyo and Kyoto.
It's really cheap to get up there from Tokyo. I think we spent like 30-40 euros for a flight, so definitely it's something you should do. Maybe next time you go to Japan, avoid the crowded cities of Tokyo and Osaka and get up to Hokkaido. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Number 2, where we are staying now, it's Songkhla in Thailand.
Yeah, this place is awesome because it's literally like you're in between the beach and a lagoon, so you're on like a little peninsula.
The Gulf of Thailand and the Lake of Songkhla.
So you can have sunsets on the lagoon, and then you can have sunrise on the beach if you're willing to get up that early. There's really cute cafes and an art scene here too. It's quite creative. So it's a really good vibe, and it just hasn't been discovered yet compared to other parts of Thailand.
Yeah, and there's a lot of history. Once it was a major trade hub with Thai, Malay and Chinese influences. Yeah, and of course, don't miss the spicy mango salad.
Yes, and they have a lot of night markets, so that's something that's cool.
Okay, number 3, Busan in South Korea, which is a cooler version of Seoul. It's on the beach. It's often called the Miami of the East.
It had a lot going on in a small area. Like you have the really urban culture and stuff, and it feels like you're in this like really glitzy, new up and coming place with really glitzy tall buildings and skyscrapers. You can also go to the top of some of these skyscrapers, but then you're also right on the beach too, which is just it's a really cool vibe. It does feel a bit Miami-esque.
Yeah, and it's home to the Gamcheon Culture Village, a colorful hillside town, which is some kind of very safe favela. It's famous for fresh seafood markets, especially the Jagalchi market. And there are great hiking trails and charming mini train rides with ocean views. And of course, stunning cliffside temples.
Yeah, I think my favorite part was probably the little trains that you could take. There were these little capsule trains that you could take. 30-minute ride across. Yeah, it was really cute. They go really slow, but it's just a nice serene little ride along the coastline.
Number 4, Ipoh in Malaysia.
Cool.
So Ipoh is known for cave temples and limestone hills, colonial architecture from its tin mining era. It's a cultural mix of Malay, Chinese and Indian influences, and is also famous for...
There's a lot of food there. There's just streets and streets of food, so foodies, this is your place. Some of the foods that you can try there, and we have another video to this, are white coffee, which is just basically a specific local roast of coffee. They're roasted in margarine allegedly, and then when it's actually processed, it's made with evaporated and condensed milk, so it's really sweet. There's also these, what is it? Oh my god, what is
Beggar
it?
chicken.
The beggar's chicken, which you can actually, when you go to some of the restaurants, you can actually break your chicken out of some clay that it's been cooked
Violently.
Violently, yes.
His case.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's less crowded than Penang, but equally charming.
Yeah, and you have a lot of nature around you too, which is quite cool.
Oh yeah, you can also reach easily the...
You're really close to the Cameron Highlands also.
Okay, number 5, let's move to the west.
Yes.
Slightly. Batumi, Georgia is a futuristic seaside city on the Black Sea with a unique architecture blending old and modern styles. Expect stony beaches.
Yeah,
there.
they're really pebbly beaches.
And nightlife, especially casinos.
It's a cool city, like it has such a different vibe from Tbilisi, which is much more historical. Batumi is much newer. And you know, they seem to be trying to like grow quite rapidly because it is a beachside destination. At first glance, it seems like maybe not the nicest place in Georgia, but then if you stay a little bit longer, you're gonna really discover the little hidden corners that makes Batumi so great.
Yeah, especially we love the sea, the temperature. We went there in late September, October, and it was still good season to visit.
Yeah, and also Algerian khachapuri is really famous there. So we have another video about khachapuri, but this one is the one that looks like a boat.
And it's also a gateway to Georgia's famous wine regions. Number 6, Gyumri in Armenia. Gyumri is the second biggest city in Armenia and is rich of history and culture. Famous for its black tuff stone buildings, black and red. There are really beautiful buildings around the town, even though many are decrepit because it was afflicted by an earthquake and is still recovering from it. It happened a few decades ago.
You won't find a huge amount of tourism here, which is quite refreshing in a way. Like there's not a huge amount of restaurants, but I don't know, there's something really charming about the historical feel to the city, which you don't really feel in Yerevan as much. Yerevan feels a bit newer. When you're in Gyumri, it's just this really like classic feeling, and a lot of the buildings are still there, restored.
Yeah, there are many cute spots.
Yeah.
And for example, you can also see the nature around the mount. What was the name of the mount?
Mount Ararat's. Not that one, no.
Yeah,
Not
the Ararat.
The
The
Agakrat,
Songkhla, which is equally beautiful.
And they're really known for like blue skies and sunshine in Armenia, and that's no exception in Gyumri as well.
Number 7, Sheki in Azerbaijan. It's a fairy tale town nestled in the mountains. It's home to the stunning Shaki Khan's palace with stained glass windows and frescoes, famous for its history connected to the Silk Road.
Baku is also really off the beaten path as well. Like I think the Caucasus in total is, but Sheki is just kind of, when we were in Baku, it's quite busy. When you go to Sheki, it loses a lot of that busyness and it feels a lot more peaceful and at ease. And you're in the mountains, you're close to the mountains, you're right at the base of the mountains, so it has that kind of mountain vibe that you would expect from a town. And hospitality was the highest in all of Azerbaijan. We visited quite a few places and we just loved the people there and we had really good experiences, so we hope you do too.
So this is piti and it's some kind of soup. Number 8, Durango in Colorado. I think this
really
is
good.
one of my favorite.
That's
And,
the United States.
There's also one in Mexico, but we haven't been there yet. Bring a good camera if you come here, because especially in the fall, the nature is stunning, the colors are stunning.
I've been to Colorado before and I've been to Boulder and like Denver and stuff, but Durango is just this kind of, it's not close to as many things, so it's a bit harder to get to. We went there from New Mexico, and it just has this, because it's so far from everything, I think it developed this very cool subculture. It has a lot of nature. You can go on tons of hikes around the area. There's just so many hikes, and there's a lot of like local breweries downtown, so they're gonna have craft breweries, a lot of chances to try like kind of Mexican cuisine.
And it's famous for the Durango and Silverton narrow gauge railroad.
Which you can take actually, and you know, the railroad is this old railroad that goes all the way between the two places. It's crazy.
Number 9, Salamina, also known as Salamis Island in Greece, is a short ferry ride from Athens but often overlooked. One of Greece's most underrated islands, known for fresh, affordable seafood and quiet beaches, away from the tourist crowds, steeped in history, known for the Battle of Salamis in 480 BC.
I think at first sight, maybe you wouldn't think of it as pretty as some of the other islands that Greece is associated with. But then when you ride around the island more, and everything is in simple reach too, so you can get a scooter or a car and go around. And the beaches there are quite a lot of stunning beaches there. Maybe not as stunning as some of the ones we've been to on some of the other islands, but it's still nice. And the benefit is that sometimes you can get a beach chair. Like, you know, we got a beach chair and it was €1. And we had been in Mykonos a few weeks prior, and it was like €45 for a chair, which is just gas that I would never say yes to that. So it's inexpensive, although people do deem it as like a suburb of Athens.
Number 10, we are at the end of this list. Almaty in Kazakhstan. It's not the capital.
It's the cultural center and the economic center.
Historical. It's a European-style city with a backdrop of snow-capped mountains, beautiful tree-lined boulevards and cozy cafes. Ideal for skiing in winter and hiking in summer, home to Medeu, the world's highest ice skating rink.
And if you're a nature lover, you got it all around you. Basically, if you rent a car and go outside the city to like Kosai Lakes and Sharon Canyon, all of this is accessible within a few hours, and you're going to be driving through like flat plains, and then all of a sudden you're going to reach these like Grand Canyon like canyons, and then more green plains, and then you're going to be at these snow-capped mountains. So you have all of these little naturey beauties in such a short distance from one another. It's beautiful.
Yes, and that's it. 10 incredible places you probably never heard of. This is our top 10 so far. We hope to have new destinations soon. We'll probably have.
Have you been to any of these before? If you have, what was your experience? And what other ones would you add to this list? Obviously, we just covered a bit of Asia and Europe, but what else is there? If you like this video, please go ahead and subscribe. It means a lot, and we'll see you on the next one.
Ciao.